back to Project Petrolhead. I'm not dead, I'm back. I know it's been like 4 months or something since my last upload, but things have been going horribly, terribly wrong with myself and the car, mainly the car. So I do apologise for that, and allow me to regale you today with the tale of what the hell has been going on for the last 4 months. You might remember the last video I put out on this channel, if you're an avid watcher and subscriber. But you might remember that the last video I put out was a bit of a cobbled together sort of montage, I guess, of a trip that I took to Wales, because day 2 of that trip, one of my GoPros shat itself and just deleted all of the footage. So I ended up with very little footage of that trip. Cobbled together what I could, stuck a video out, great. During that trip to Wales, my brakes started making some awful noises. Some of the surviving footage demonstrates that, so I'll clip it in here. Yeah, like that. Yeah, not good. So, limped it back to my place from Wales. Thought, that needs sorting. So, where I work, there are 2 chain garages that I'm not going to name for legal reasons, but one of them begins with H and ends in Halfords, and one of them begins with an A and then a T and then an S. So I took the car into the first one, left it with them. And normally I'm quite happy to try and do stuff myself. I'm not an expert mechanic by any means, but when it comes to brakes, for me brakes are too important to mess up, and knowing me, I would probably mess them up. So I'll quite happily defer to an expert on that one. So I left the car with them, got a call a bit later in the day. Yeah, we found the problem. Right, okay. The little wire that sits on the rear caliper that holds the pad into the caliper, it's come off. So the pad is making effectively constant contact with the disc, which is why it's scraping a load. It's just making a load of noise, a load of brake pad dust and all that good stuff. Okay. That bit can't be replaced on its own. It needs to be a new caliper. Okay, fine, I'll take your word for it. And of course, because of the excessive wear to the rear disc pads, they also need to be replaced. Okay, and you shouldn't really do brake pads either side without doing the other side as well. Okay, how much is this going to cost me? About £700. Okay, I guess, yeah, it's brakes. Brakes is important. Just get on with it, and then it's been done. I haven't got to worry about it. Fine, do that. £700 later, get the car back. Brilliant. Go to pick the car up. Start everything up. No warning lights on the dash. Wouldn't expect any. It's just been into a garage. Pull off of their forecourt. All fine. Drive down the road a bit. All good. Approach the next junction. I think I shall apply some brakes here so that I slow down up to the junction. Don't want to come in too quickly. Go to apply the brakes. Nothing happens. I think that's not ideal. So I apply a bit more brakes and nothing happens still. Only by welding my right foot through the bulkhead do I manage to get the thing to bloody stop. At which point I've decided that probably the brakes haven't been done properly by the first garage. Sorry, gotta give it a bit of that. They've been done now, it's fine. It's pretty clear to me that no one's bled the brakes when they've put the new caliper on, because there is braking force there. They're not disconnected, but there's just nowhere near enough braking force. So, take the car back to the garage, say, what the fuck? And the bloke behind the counter says, oh yeah, no, that can't happen, they'll probably need bedding in. No, you're supposed to be the guys, you're supposed to know what you're doing. Rear brakes don't need bedding in, not really. Just do it again, please. So they do. And funnily enough, when I get the car back the second time, all works. So, get the car back for a bit, managed to drive around for a bit, and on one of the following weekends, I think, I'm going to go and do a big drive. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a big drive so that I can test everything's working, make sure there's nothing untoward that I've missed. Go out from the big drive and I get papped. I get a manila envelope through my letterbox 2 weeks later to say, you've been caught spitting. Oh no. I was doing 57 in a 50, but one of the temporary 50s that they put up on the M42. So yeah, hold my hands up. Fine, that was me. I'll admit to that. It's a fair cop. You caught me fair and square. That's my first offence, so I get to do a driver awareness, speed awareness course. That's the one. So I'll do that. You know, 2 hours of my life I'll never get back, but I was in the wrong, so I can't really complain. And then Christmas happened and New Year happened, so I didn't really want to go out and do anything at Christmas and New Year's. I stayed in. And then on the 5th of Jan, the MOT expires, so fine. Book in with the garage, get it MOT'd. I think at this point, I don't really trust garage number 1. But there's always garage number 2, and it's right near where I work, so I can leave it with them in the morning, get it MOT'd, pick the car up at the end of the day. Good stuff, all great. So I'll leave it with garage number 2. And I get a call halfway through the day. Excuse me, Mr. Bachelor, sorry to tell you, your car's failed. What? Yeah, the car's failed, it's MOT. What on? Rear suspension, it's all worn, there's bits and pieces that need to be replaced, it's not very good, it's going to need a lot of work doing. These are not advisories, this is a fail, must replace immediately. Okay, I'm a little bit sceptical at this point, because over the Christmas break, between the Christmas New Year's, that sort of 3-4 days, me and a mate, who may or may not be appearing on this channel at some point, went for a drive up to Silverstone to go and have a look at the Silverstone Museum. And I feel like if the rear suspension was completely shot, I'd know about it. I feel like I'd be able to tell. There were no clumps, there's no excessive lateral movement or anything like that. It feels the way it's always felt. Ignore the lateral movement that you see now, by the way. The camera mount's broken. Again, just added to this run of bad luck that I've been having. Yeah, it just feels like normal jag. So what's occurring there? So I get a quote for everything that needs doing from the garage. And they reckon best part of £1,000, £990 they quote me. Seems like a lot. Yeah, and also because it's the first time that parts have been off the car, we can't guarantee that everything will come off in one piece, so we're pre-warn you up front, it might cost you a little bit more, just in case parts break or anything like that. And now I'm even more suspicious. You quoted me over £1,000. Let's be generous and say 1,200 quid. For work that I'm not convinced needs doing. So I decided to do something that you can actually do. I get in touch with another garage, reputable garage, recommended by a friend, for a second opinion. I drop the car with him. He goes over it and says, yeah, no, there's bits that need replacing. Some of the rubber bushings have started to perish, so they will need to be replaced. And a couple of the drop links are quite corroded, so they'll need to go. But it's nowhere near as bad as I was being told. And a quote for the total fix for the second opinion garage was about 600 quid. That seems much more reasonable. Fine, get on with that. So leave it with, I suppose, garage number 3 at this point. All of that work gets done, drop links replaced, suspension rebushed, and as an extra service, he also underseals the rear axle. The rear axle obviously is steel, can corrode, so that's all good on there. Just protects it for the future, which is nice. So get it MOT'd after the work's been done, pass, flying colours, no advisories. Over to the side. And I've got the car back. Great. Good stuff. Finally got the car back. And I go out for a big drive in it. Don't get pat this time. And everything's good. Yeah, it all works perfectly. It feels a bit tauter, a bit stiffer now. It feels a bit more sporty, which is nice. It's exactly a big wallowy thing to begin with. So I decide at this point to make a video on this channel, what I have, explaining everything that's been going on and why I've been gone. You know, this sort of video. Speed bump. And as I do that, about halfway round, I'm in the middle of telling the story, and my nose explodes. I'm a bit sceptical at this point. Oh, for sake! What? Is this day cursed? What's going on? Talk amongst yourselves. This is the week after I've had the car back. I've got out to film to tell you what's going on, and this has happened. And it's the 4th attempt to try to film this as well, because camera kept dying, and my face has exploded. So yeah, everything is coming up Tom. I don't know. Yeah, big nosebleed, just everywhere. All over the steering wheel, which was not ideal. All over my jumper. I ended up having to stop by the side of the road and just bleed into a bin, essentially, is what it broke down to, which was not fun. So I sort of abandoned ship on there. I'll wait for a couple of weekends. You know, wait for the weather to warm up a bit. As you can probably tell by my behatted head, it hasn't. But I'll do a second attempt when I feel a bit better. I was a bit fluey at the time as well, so I'll wait for that to pass and then I'll crack on. And then, because this story just keeps getting better, and then some peevish bastard keys the car. I've mentioned before, I have to park this on the street because I don't have a driveway outside my house. So I wake up one morning, last weekend in fact, thinking, yeah, I'll go and make a video today, that will be great. This is the most speed bumps I've ever seen in one place, I do apologise. I think, oh, hang on a minute, there's a white streak down the side of the car. I wasn't there this morning. What's going on there? And I walk up to it, and it is a fucking key gash down the side of my car. Quite deep as well. You can feel it if you run a finger over it. It's gone through a few layers of paint. Or at least one layer of paint, anyway. Why do people do that? I genuinely don't get it. It's not like I've paid off the neighbours much. I don't know who it was. I have got CCTV outside my house just in case. I haven't looked, so I suppose CCTV's not really doing much. But so, you know, if I find out who did do it, what am I going to do? Go around their house and break their legs? There's no point mithering on it. You just got to deal with it and get past, haven't you? So I spent quite a fair amount of yesterday trying to deal with it. My dad, quite helpfully, has got a compressor, an airline gun, and one of those polishy circle polish thing. They've probably got a name. Yeah, one of them. So we were able to cut it back so it's not as deep. Got some touch-up paint in the right colour. You know, try and fill it in, cut it back so it's smooth, and fill it in again, and cut it back. And it took a while. And it's still visible if you're right up close to it. If you're looking at it, it's still fairly visible, but on first glance, from 6 foot away, you can't really notice, which I suppose is as good as I'm going to be able to get it without having the car resprayed. Out of interest, I did have a look at getting the car resprayed, and it's many thousands of pounds, so probably not going to be happening, unless of course someone wants to step in to sponsor these videos. Looking at you, Car Vertical, you sponsor every bugger else. Yeah, I'm going to have to just deal with it at this point. It did get so bad at one point that I effectively put the car up for sale. I put an advert up on Car and Classic with this car, with all the details in. I was just that fed up with it, and that annoyed with how much I was having to spend and how frequently it was having to go in for work to be done and all of that. That I just, for the briefest of moments, wanted rid. I wanted to get rid of it. The advert has since expired because I'm sort of I've decided to keep it. I mentioned a couple of videos ago, it was my dream car, and to feel like I have to sell it would be heartbreaking, really. So yeah, it wasn't exactly a run of good luck, and it wasn't exactly the easiest 4 months, but I'm still here, and the car's still here, and the videos are still here, weirdly, even though I may or may not have forgotten to make them for 4 months. But it's all good, and hopefully there'll be more videos coming. I won't forget for another 4 months as I get stuck behind a tractor. I know he's pulling in, lovely. Yeah, I hopefully just won't forget for another 4 months, but I can give you some of that. Oh, bloody love this car. Thank you all for watching. If you bloody love this car as well, feel free to drop a like or a subscribe, leave a comment if you too have had bad experiences with chain garages that shall remain nameless for legal reasons. Yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.